Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome to a 3-for-1 today. This is using my How to Kill a Kit with Style for the month of June. It is also part of the ABC Scrapbooking Boys to Men. And back in May, when I was doing my build page, I had a bonus layout for you using that piece of ephemera right there that says, always be yourself unless you can be a superhero. And it's tied in with that too. I just saved it for the month of June because this fits into that other two series. My goal here is to work with that piece of ephemera, obviously. I had the photos of my son in his cute little Batman goggles, and his swim trunks also looked like Batman. It just tied in perfectly. Grabbed a cut file from my, just in the stash that I have of cut files. This one might be paper issues, possibly. And I'm going to go ahead and use that as the main focus because he's swimming and I wanted it to be fun and summery. I'm using the Legendary Collection from Coco Vanilla Studio. This is one I purchased from Scrapbook Your Joy. She restocked it recently and I just had to get my hands back on it. I needed some boy collections. I was getting pretty thin on them, and this is just the perfect boy one. Going to use some mists for the sun and the water. Off camera, I then am going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time stitching each one of those. I simply was able to do that by laying the pieces. You can see that I had sprayed. I just went in with my little pokey hole and poked around each of them and then stitched. Took a little bit of time, but I don't mind stuff like that. Some people find that super tedious. I find it fun. Afterwards, you can't see the stitching yet. I do that after. I'm going to lay back the pieces of the actual cut file in the black so that there's a really nice contrast between the mixed media and the black. It just helps pop the layout and it just gives it that summer vibe I was trying to get. Totally worked. I love how it turned out. And I will say, I did stitch the entire thing knowing part of it was going to get covered up. I do this because sometimes I have a plan on where I want my photo to go, but a lot of times I don't. I just want to see it and then lay my photo down and go from there. I just find it easier if I just stitch it and then recognize the fact that part of it's going to be covered up and just be okay with that. So I will go ahead and do that. You can see what it looks like. Love it so much. I'm going to put my photo down, trim off the part that's hanging underneath the sun, add a few layers, some fun foam, and just kind of play. I had so much fun just embellishing this layout and making it work. The title is going to come from the ephemera pack with the words, and I think it says you're super something, but superhero. I think it says superhero goggles. And that means that I'm going to make this particular one for the ABC Scrapbooking Boys to Men G for goggles, because he loved these and he wore them all the time. We had this little kind of kiddie pool that they played in when we were at the old house, and he really loved these goggles. And he's way better now, but he used to be quite timid about putting his face in the water, and he worked on it. When we could have swimming lessons, he had swimming lessons and worked on that, and now he's a lot better. There's a pool at grandma's house and he goes, and he's not really as scared as he used to be. He will have showers and get his hair wet and face wet, and he's definitely grown out of that stage of being timid about it. It used to be a really big deal though. So these goggles, I think, just help make him feel confident enough to go ahead and play and not worry about water up his nose or in his eyes and stuff like that, because they covered it all and he just had fun. And I definitely wanted to share that because it's already a moment in time that's gone. It's crazy how fast things can change. I know a lot of you probably already realized that. Your children might be a little bit older than mine. I'm just now into that stage where my oldest is 7, so I'm starting to see that massive progression that can happen from one stage to the next. You see it in little ones, of course, but these type of things, I'm just getting into that phase of life, and that's a hard one, mamas. I don't know how you handle those, but it's fun to live these and be proud of them and just support the growth that they have done. What I'm doing here is I'm trimming out that sun. I wanted to go ahead and make sure that you could see a little bit more of the stitching. I cut most of it because I trimmed it from the inside when I poked my holes. It was covering up a lot of the stitching, and it still does, but trimming that black just helped me see a little bit more of it. So I was happy with that. I'm going to add a bit of pattern up there. The background paper I'm using already had that pre-mixed media look to it, so it didn't need much, but it's very flat right now, and I wanted there to be a little bit more texture, a little bit more something. So I ripped that paper you can see there, and I'm just going to glue it. I'm not butting it up against to the top. I'm leaving a little bit of space so you can see that little orangey and blue and stuff there. I like that. I like the ability for you to see that the whole part had mixed media to it. Now I'm going to go to those words that I was showing you about, just looking to see what I come up with. And I'm really going to use this super and hero and all-star, and that type of theme is going to be very prominent on this layout. I added anything that I could find that had it on there. I added it to this layout to just really give off that fun vibe, but keep it summer and fun and playful, boy themed, but not too over the top. I really wanted it to be almost a little bit more summer necessarily than boy. I feel like it works. It documents the story I want to tell, and it just makes me happy. I found these stickers that I could spell out the word goggles, and I'll tell you, I totally tried to spell the word Google first. Not thinking. However, I wanted there to be a pop of blue to them. They have little white flecks to them, so I just used my mist and sprayed it, and then as you can see, I'm using a paintbrush to rub it in. I think I did 2 coats of it. It's very subtle. I don't even know if you'll notice it, but it did give that little pop of blue from the waves up to the top. It just kind of helped just tie everything in, which I appreciate. If you're a scrapbooker and you notice little things like that, you'll appreciate it. No one else is going to notice. But I took the time to do it because it was important to me. And now I get to do the fun part, which is the embellishing. So I used a couple banners. I'm using a little ticket. I used that fun little rad pennant, which made me super happy. There's a flare. I used a flare. Everyone be proud. Sometimes I struggle with those. I'm going to use that blue sticker you can see right there, me pulling off. I'm going to place that underneath. And again, just a couple more words, a few more things just to make it, I don't know, have a little bit more substance to it. This is a pretty basic layout because the cut file is pretty impactful on its own. So I didn't want to add too much, but I definitely wanted there to be a little bit of something. I also add that kind of paint stroke clear sticker. However, I knew most of it was being covered up, so I was smart and cut it so I could place it into 2 different areas. And again, that just gives a little pop of blue here and there. So it's kind of a visual triangle. That's my thing. I like to have visual triangles. And really, that's it. I'm going to add a few, I think I add a few sequins, and that's going to wrap it up. So I hope you enjoyed this. I am skipping around on that ABC Scrapbooking Boys to Men, so I'm not starting with A and working my way through. I'm just kind of jumping around with whatever photos speak to me with whatever letter it works with, which is why we're on G for goggles and it's very early June. But I am trying to play catch up with Susanna's series, so it's going to be jumping around and we'll get to it as we can. Thanks so much for watching. Here's a look at my finished layout. I'll see you all soon. Bye!